Okay, I'm going to start admitting, well, no, I'm gonna give him another. Yeah, I am.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello, everyone. We'll get started in a few minutes here, just waiting for some more to join. Please sign in to the in the chat and mute your computers and also turn on your cameras if you have them available.
No sugar. I don't taste it. I can't taste anything.
The heck didn't happen?
Well, I'm not sharing my expensive tea with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because it's a waste.
Okay, well, it's 2, so I am going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot to go over today, so we're getting there, guys. The end of the school year is just right around the corner, so I know that everyone is looking forward to that. It's been a crazy year again. I just want to start off this meeting like I have most meetings by saying thank you for all that you guys have done this year. It has been quite the challenge, as we all know. So anyways, Caitlin, if you could keep an eye on admitting people as they come in, I'd appreciate it. This meeting is being recorded so that anyone that missed it, we can send out the meeting. So First things first, we'll go over with what your last day of work is. So your last day, I just got confirmation from payroll, is 6/16. So June 16th is your last day. And then your first day of next school year will be August 19th, which will be our in-service. So we'll have in-service on Friday. Monday, you'll be in your schools for your open houses and also to open up your kitchens. Tuesday, receive deliveries and get ready for Wednesday, which will be the first day of school, I believe. So that covers that. Speaking of next school year, we will go into the next topic, which is payroll. So we're working with payroll to try to streamline our process for completing payroll and making it easier on Bonnie to process payroll and payroll to process their timesheets as well. So starting next year, we will still be paid bi-weekly, but payroll is going to be due weekly. So you will be shared a weekly timesheet instead of a bi-weekly timesheet. So that what this will make it easier to do is to calculate those extra hours, to get leave entered and reconciled, and make it a little bit easier on Bonnie and myself and payroll to complete payroll in a timely manner. So just be on the lookout next school year for new payroll sheets. Your payroll sheets this year might look a little bit different too, moving forward. Payroll's working on streamlining the process of how we process payroll. So you might be seeing a little bit of changes to your payroll sheets right now. But that's just for us to get ready for next year. So nothing will change this year or the way that you do payroll, but it might look a little bit different. So then that brings me to the next topic, which is leave. We are having extreme issues with people entering leave, not calling their managers, not reporting that they're not coming to work, and just not coming to work. This is a huge issue and something that we need to really work on, and that we're going to be working on, and coordinators are going to be in contact with you a lot more about. So we all know the procedures for leave. You're required to put your leave in. Your staff members are required to notify you that they're going to be out, and then also are required to put their leave in. If it's past the time that they can put their leave in, they need to call their manager and also let them know that, one, they're not coming to work, and two, that they couldn't put their leave in. Then the coordinator needs to be contacted to be asked to put that leave in. We've had a lot of issues with people just calling our office and saying, I need my leave put in. Managers don't know. We don't know. At the beginning of the day, we look to see who's out from the from SmartFind, and I'll just use Loretta, for example. So her kitchen is showing 1 absence today. Well, we're pretty sure Loretta will be just fine with 1 absence, and she can probably have somebody come in to help cover that shift. Well, if she's short 1, but 3 other people are out that day too, but they didn't put leave in, or they didn't call Loretta, or they didn't call us, we have no idea. So that's a whole nother story. Then her kitchen is severely short, and something needs to happen for that. So we just need to make sure that that is being communicated with our staff. And if it's an ongoing issue with like a new staff member too, then we do have a probationary period that we can let staff members go if we're having an issue right off the bat with them. And it could just be a simple fix of they're not sure how to do it, and we can help them. But it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be taken care of, because it is the responsibility of the employee to put in their leave. So that's another thing that kind of ties in with payroll and all of that. Here's some good news, which we were supposed to have had our managers meeting before the press release went out, for me to tell you guys this information, that the take-home meals will be ending on the 27th of May. So what that means is that if you have leftover product, we don't want any of this product left in the schools this summer. So if you have leftover product and you have enough to do take-home meals past May 27th, we want you to do take-home meals until you have no more product. So if that's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or no days, we still want to make sure that there's none of that product left in-house. So the reason that we're doing this is take-home meals will not happen next school year. We do not want to have extra inventory of that product in the schools. And we had to place a large order to get more of those shelf-stable items to come in, which we wouldn't have been able to use the amount that we needed to order by the end of the school year. So that's why the decision was made to end on the 27th. So I'm sure we don't have any heartbreak over that from you guys, I'm sure. Yes. So that will be ending on the 27th. Let me see what else I have on here. Oh, make sure you're looking at your warehouse orders, what's available from the warehouse. We had ordered some product at the beginning or, towards the middle of the school year when we were having issues getting product in, like potatoes, pizza, things like that. We want to start clearing out our warehouse as well. So take a look at your warehouse orders to see what might be on there that we can order instead of ordering through Dory. We have we have tons of applesauce now. All of our applesauce had been canceled for the year, which is why we were ordering through Dory. Well, guess what? They then delivered all of our applesauce. So now we have tons of applesauce in house. So that's just one of the things that's on there, but we also have pizza, tater tots, things of that nature. So please take a look at those warehouse orders before placing a Dory order. Breaks, 15-minute breaks. So I know there's been some questions about who gets a 15-minute break, who doesn't get a 15-minute break, when these breaks can be taken, all of that. I know most of the 3-hour workers are working more than 3 hours. So if a 3-hour worker is only working 3 hours or less than 4 hours, so anyone working less than 4 hours is not eligible for a 15-minute break. If you work 4 hours to 6 hours, you are eligible for a 15-minute break. You work 6 hours or more, you get the half-an-hour break and a 15-minute break in the morning and a 15-minute break in the afternoon. So the expectation is that these breaks are to be scheduled. So what we're going to ask of you guys to start off this, to get in the practice of doing, that will be followed through next year, is that for the 6 hours and managers, that they take a 15-minute break directly after breakfast, and then a 15-minute break directly after lunch service, and then the half-an-hour breaks to be scheduled by the manager when you can do that sporadically throughout the morning and afternoon. The 30-minute breaks are a little bit harder for us to give an exact time for because each kitchen is different. But the 15-minute breaks in the morning and the afternoon, right after breakfast service and right after lunch service, that's a pretty easy time to set those for the kitchens. So as for the 4 hours, if they're working over 4 hours for that 15-minute break, depending on when they come in, they would take their 15-minute break either right after breakfast if they're there, or if they're not there right after breakfast, then after lunch. Anybody have any questions on that? So the expectation from that then is if you are not able to take those breaks, then that an email is sent to the director and the coordinator on the days that those breaks were not taken. Any questions? So there's a question, are the 15-minute breaks paid? Yes, the 15-minute breaks are paid. The half-an-hour lunch is not. So if you work 6 hours, then you need to work 6.5 hours. If you work 7 hours, you have to work 7.5 hours. Were there any other questions in the chat that I missed? Okay. I will move on to Jerry.
So
Right,
it's getting into that time of year where we are going to start doing Rob and I will start doing evaluations of managers and all kitchen staff. So what we ask of managers every year is to give us a data dump about yourself, what your goal was, if you felt like you successfully accomplished those goals, and anything that you felt you did well this year, just to give us some feedback. I think for me, I know I've worked in all my kitchens, so I'm familiar with a lot of the staff and how they work. Then we're not asking you to evaluate your staff in your kitchen, but we need feedback so that we can appropriately enter some information in about our staff. And I know for Rob, since he's new, he is not as familiar with how some of the staff works in some of the schools. Any data that you give us on an employee, if you may have an employee that you kind of have been having issues with or concerns with, this should not be a surprise to them if they're working slow or they're not completing tasks or they're just doing things that you're really struggling with them to accomplish tasks during the day. That should never come as a surprise to them. That's something that you should, be guiding them because you are managing the kitchen. But also, with every employee, there's got to be something positive that they are doing. So don't send us all just a lot of negativity on someone. You also have to give us a little data on things that they've done well. So remember that when you're giving us feedback about employees. Sometimes managers will send something and they just go to town on an employee that they've been struggling with. But every employee has something positive that they contributed to the workload and to the success of the kitchen. So I know that may be hard to find and with some employees, but we need you to, think through your manager eyes as to what they've contributed and where they need to maybe step up. All right. So within that process, the evaluation process, we will be using your COVID computer. So you need to make sure you can locate that it's charged. And Rob and I will be reaching out to you when you need to have each employee and yourselves enter into the Talent Ed Perform system to go through the first step, which is the goal setting and did you accomplish your goals this year? And then the next step, we would move on. We get to look at that, comment on it, then we send back another email. And with that, we'd solicit an evaluation. So you're going to be going in and out of the portal a couple of times, and so will all the employees. But I will send you an email when we're ready to do that. So don't go in. If you go in, last year we had some schools that went in and they went into last year's and they handed their employees, printed off the employees last year's evaluation, and it needs to be this year's evaluation. So don't do any printing or any going in and out of there right now until Rob and I reach out to you and tell you that we're ready for you to start that process. So you can use the laptop that was provided to every kitchen for them to log into the Perform system to view their evaluation. Okay, and we'll be coming around. It's just, we're going to try to do a lot of it through email and through them entering the system because we have been filling in so much at schools and we're getting down to a timeline of the school year ending. So we need a little leeway here so that if we are out at schools working and we can't get to your site, that you can, help those employees get in and you can start that whole process. And most of you have been pretty successful at that. The next item is training modules. I know we harp on training modules, but that is part of our professional goal that USDA reviews. And so you need to be able to go into your training modules, complete those, the paper ones, make sure you've got, August through May, all those completed for everyone. There is a checklist that tracks everybody in your kitchen, and we need copies. Never send us the original, send us copies. All right, if you have any questions, if you have a brand new employee, just pick up the start from the very first, because those are the very basic ones, and have them complete however many months they've been there. Any questions? Someone asked if there's a letter that will go out. I'm not sure what you mean by a letter. What's the letter in reference to? Trish asked that. I'm not sure if that.
I think she meant for the first day of school. The first day. So
okay.
I said, yes, that will go out.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
Tammy, let me answer this real quick. Tammy, I was going to start typing to you. But Dory, you do not need to go in early for Dory. If they get there at 6 a.m., that's fine. But you're the start of, what time do you start? If you want to unmute and tell me what time you start, because I'm not sure of everyone's start time. Are you on still, Tammy? Okay, well, whatever your start time is when you can accept that delivery. I don't expect anyone to go in early to accept a delivery. Our delivery window is not at their start time, it's at our start time until the end of our day, which is 2:30. So that's when deliveries are expected to be received.
Then my final thing that I wanted to say is that our after-school at-risk programs were reviewed. Thank you for prepping your kitchens, your programs for this review. We had 4 schools that were selected this year, and they did very well at the on-site review. That doesn't mean that we can't still be reviewed, because if there's an infraction, they can still come down. So just finish out till May 27th with following the rules that we've been keeping in place all school year, and complete those after school take-home bags. Next year, they will not be the same. You may have an after-school program at risk, supper and snack that may go out at your school, but it will not leave the campus. It will be consumed on site if we provide those programs next year. So I think that's it. That's all I have. And we are slowly getting out through the school year. I get you guys are happy about that. I'd love to see a show of hands with woo, yay. I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready. So, all right, have a good one. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, I will turn it over to Nicole next.
Sure. I have 3 quick things for everyone. One is just a heads up about production records. What I send out to you, not for May, but probably beyond, probably start of the new school year. The production records are going to be asking for a little bit more detail for specific products. So for example, where it may have said assorted muffins, we'll need to kind of differentiate which flavor of muffins. Same with assorted cereals, we'll need to know which flavor of cereals. That's because although they're very, very similar products, they are different. And that's important when it comes time for review. So that might mean that the production records are looking a little bit longer. I'm trying to think creatively about ways to minimize the paper. Looking at all those extra blank spaces. So just a little bit of a nuance that's going to be the new norm. My understanding is that's how things used to be done in the past a while ago. So some of you may be familiar with that process already, but we'll be asking for those variety and flavor specifics to be fed out on a production sheet. So that's one. The next thing is just a resource I'm working on for you guys that hopefully will be helpful. This is a bit of it has to do with food allergies. It's a prototype for this year, but you'll see a version for start of next school year. It's just a little pamphlet for a food allergy guide. And the way I've organized it is by cycle menu day. So each page will have essentially the food items that are to be, cycle menu Monday, cycle menu Tuesday. And then it has our little icons next to it as to what those allergens are. The allergens are the same as what you'll see on NutriSlice. So here's just kind of, it looks like this might be mirrored for you guys. So it just has a food item and then what allergens are on that. It's the major allergens that we're used to, but also I've added red food dye because there are some of those out there. And then beef and pork as well, so that you guys are aware of what products have beef and pork, especially for those alpha gal kiddos. And the third thing was just about upcoming menu items, things that have come off the menu. I may have sent an email about this before, but taco stick is one item that we're done with. So if you have a supply of taco stick in your freezer, feel free to put that out as a second hot entree. My understanding is that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are kind of difficult to come by. So maybe some of those other items that are off the menu, that could be something you could offer in place of peanut butter and jelly. It looks like the PB&Js might be available to order May 6th, then they'll get to you around May 11th. So some of those other items might be the grilled cheese sandwiches or the sliders, that kind of thing. If you have any question if an item is still on the menu or not, let me know. A popular question, there is one more fish sandwich day. And yes, we do have the barbecue coming back just for a little bit more. That was because of a previous order commitment with Dory. So if you have any questions, let me know, but expect to get some reminders from me about using the stock in your freezer and what is kind of done for the year at the menu.
So does anyone have any questions for Caitlin, or I'm sorry, for Nicole or Sherry? All right, we'll move on to Caitlin.
So just to piggyback off of what Nicole was saying with your production records, one thing that we noticed when we were going through them is some people production records are just a little too clean. And by that, I mean, you say that you served 100 servings of green beans. You prepped 100 servings of green beans. You served 100 servings of green beans. You had no extras. You had no discards, no nothing. You didn't have anything left over. That to me is just, it's very clean, and there are very rare circumstances in which you usually run out of food on the line. I mean, it happens sometimes. I've seen it happen, but when you're looking at those things, you're not going to get in trouble if you discard 5 servings of green beans. Like, that's not something that we would expect you to save for the next day. It's extremely important to make sure that you're putting down exactly what was served, because that goes into the nutritional calculations that Nicole has to do. And also to jump on that, making sure that you are following the menu. I have been to 3 schools where the entree salad was on the menu for that week, like it was the crispy chicken salad that week, and 3 schools were not serving that week. And I could not get a straight answer as to why these schools had decided to change the menu item. If that continues to happen, we're going to have to, your coordinators will be told, and we'll have to go at it from that way, because you guys need to be serving the menu. There's a difference between not purchasing and not ordering those menu items and them getting shorted. You should not be changing the menu, especially for things like the gluten-free menu. If you don't have that item, that's one thing. But if you have that item and you've just decided that you're going to change the item to something else for some reason, we need to know why. The state goes off of what our menu items are that day, and they look at your production records. And if there's differences there needs to be a reason why. Same thing. So some of you guys were saying that your entree salads might not be going, especially if you have, if you get meal counts. If you're getting meal counts and you're saying that, okay, well, no one orders the entree salad, put it out there, put it out on your line, still make at least one. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. You mark that down as a discard if you need to. But you need to be offering these choices every day, because not every single student gets the opportunity to put in what they want for lunch. Sometimes kids come in late. And then sometimes you'll be able to sell that salad to an adult. And just having it out on the line and letting the adults and everybody see that product out there might help it sell. And then you making sure that you're doing carrots every day and side salads. We need to definitely be doing side salads daily. That's on the menu. We need to be making sure that we're doing those. And the last thing that I have to add to that, for those of you that are doing grab and go breakfast, first off, breakfast should be, or milk should be served at every meal, period. Even if there is a yogurt smoothie or something on those days, milk has to be served at every meal, period. If we do not serve milk at a meal, we can lose the reimbursement for that meal period. It has to be served. They don't have to take it, but you have to offer it at least. And on that same note, with those of you that are doing grab and go, you cannot just do juice as your fruit. You have to at least offer other fruits for the day. So if you are doing grab and go breakfast and you already put a juice in the bag so that it's really easy for your kids to just take it and go, you need to at least have a basket of fruit out there that kids can take from and walk through the line. I'm not talking about MMFA. I'm talking about the people that come through the line and they already have their breakfast already bagged up and ready to go. You guys need to make sure that you have other fruit other than just juice out there so that kids can get it. Because offer versus serve is a different menu components than just offer. And if you are not giving them any choices, then you are just doing offer. And therefore you need to have a full cup of fruit in those bags if you are just doing offer. If you are not giving them a full cup of fruit, that is not a full and complete meal. So with that being said, I still would like you guys to do the offer versus serve. And it's really simple to just have a basket of apples or apple slices or something else other than juice out there for them to take. So just some compliance issues that I've seen the last couple of weeks.
Caitlin and Nicole, there's questions in the chat about Lisa Hagney is asking, is it okay to use chicken chunks in place of the fish for allergies?
No.
And
If you're,
Okay,
I
that's the
would
first.
say, Lisa, if you're going to be, because the fish is a fish sandwich, so do a chicken patty then.
And her next, same with Lisa Hackney, she asked if the deliveries don't come until Tuesday, and if we have the salad from previous week, that salad sometimes goes bad over the weekend. So she's wanting to know what to do in that case about the salads.
That's like an individual, like we said, that's something happened to the salad. You had planned on it happen. You had planned on serving it, but that bag of salad didn't last over the weekend, and that's okay. I'm talking about the people that I was in their kitchens on Wednesday and Thursdays, and they still did not have salads available for the week because they did not order salad mix.
Okay, then Laura at Hollywood is asking, her gluten-free child, the one child, always wants the same thing every day. He's asked for the same thing. I think, Laura, that's the kid that likes the Stuffwich. And she's asking, is that okay for him to eat the same thing every day?
If it's the Stuffwich, I would say no. Nicole, what do you think?
So one other consideration is that the only student in the school, you know, because thinking about allergies, part of that is equitability. So if we have a specific menu that is for that child, then I would suggest offering that. If it's the only kid and no one else in your school is ordering, selecting that menu, it may be okay. Let me know case by case, or if you want to send me an email. But you have to remember there might be kids whose families are choosing to have that as an available option for the kid. I do try to send you guys the diet modification form so you're aware of who has the doctor's note to be eating from that menu too. So yeah, and he won't order lunch then. Yeah. So Laura, we can work on a plan together if you like, and maybe I can get the individual's name, have a conversation with the nurse and the parent too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, I got a quick question. Most people works in the kitchen, they know what their kids like. They know they only need 100 servings of green beans because majority of the kids won't take it. I don't have that problem because we do carry over wherever we have left over. But just with experience and looking at these, serving these kids, everybody don't want string beans. So if you only serving 50 servings of green beans and you don't have any left over, I don't see where there's a problem that is too clean.
Irene, I was more so talking about the production records that I'm specifically mentioning are every single day, the vegetables are the exact same amount with no leftover every single day. Like it was an entire month of production records where every single day they had exactly the exact amount of vegetables for every single vegetable, for every single meal, for every single day. And whereas like there are going to be some days in which you had 50 and you had exactly 50 kids that wanted string beans, and that's totally fine. I'm just talking about making sure that that's actually what's happening, because I know for a fact that there is no way that you have that much of a clue into what every single kid is going to get on every single day for an entire month. There are going to be days in which you estimate and it's exactly right, and that's perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
every single day for an entire month, there was no surprises, no random kid ate today that you didn't expect, or no kid didn't eat that you expected to. For a whole
another
month.
thing. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
So another thing that tells me too is that you're only making 100 servings, and when that runs out, that's it. So then it could be the other way of, the kids just aren't getting them because you didn't make enough. So yes, we do want you guys to know your menus and know what your kids are going to take. But like Caitlin said, every day for an entire month that you have no leftover vegetables or no extras every day, like that just seems like, one, there's either discard isn't being reported, or two, that when you run out, you run out. And we know that we don't want to just run out and not have anything for the kids to choose from should they want it. Even though there are other choices, if it's menued and we have it, we should be batch cooking enough to know that, hey, we're going to need more because we're going to run out.
Okay, the other thing is that you all tells us to use what we have in-house to clear it out. Now, I have one kid that is gluten-free. I got a whole case of grilled chicken, and it's not on the menu. I had them since the beginning of the year because of this one child. So I've been using my grilled chicken, and using it on the salad because I'm trying to run down my inventory for the end of the year. It's been here for a minute. I haven't ordered any, but it's just the leftover for just that one gluten child. So yes, I do modify my salad sometime to get rid of the product that's been in there 3 and 4 months. And I believe these grilled chicken actually been in since last year. The product is still good. So I am running it on my salads. I'm not all the time, but I'm running it out now because I'm closer to the end of the year. I want to get rid of all of my inventory that has been here for a minute. So
And
is that
that's-
okay to do?
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to get through and to run your inventory down as low as possible to the end of the year. When I was mentioning the salads, I was saying that these schools weren't offering salads, period, those
Oh,
weeks.
okay.
Yeah, they didn't order salad mix, like the actual salad part of it, and they weren't doing that at all. If you're offering extra items, that's totally fine. I hope that Nicole knows and that you're definitely putting it on your production records. But I was just referencing the people that I had seen who had not even ordered salad mix on a week that we had entree salads as the entree.
So in that case, if a person forgets to order this salad mix, is there a backup? It could be the manager could have been out or just completely forgot. Where can they go to get the salad mix?
So they can either email us and let us know, like, hey, I forgot to order salad mix. It's on the menu this week. This is what I'm gonna do instead, and let Nicole know. So if there's an issue with allergens, she's aware. Or try to reach out to other schools in the area to see if they've got a spare bag of salad. That doesn't always work, but it's better to be able to tell us if Sherry comes into your kitchen and says, hey, why aren't you doing entree salads this week? It's on the menu. And you say, I forgot to order them, but I reached out to this school, this school, and this school. They didn't have any left. I did let Nicole know that wasn't happening. And what happened, and we figured it out, and this is what I'm serving instead. That conversation is going to go over way better than you just saying, well, no one orders it, so I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Which is the response that we got.
Oh, okay,
So-
okay.
So there was one more question in the chat. One of the gluten-free students comes in very late, sometimes right before lunch. This is Evergreen, I think. The manager feels they have to make a quick lunch. One of the easiest things to cook quickly is a hot dog. Is that okay for a late day, a late arrival?
I mean, yeah, I think at the end of the day, you want to serve that kid. But I would say maybe a good time to look at the process too. If it's the same and it happens time and time again, maybe there's some process improvement and talking with the family or the teacher or the the staff there, so you're not put in that position every single day. But yeah, I mean, if serve what you can that is safe for the child, so we can,
And then one last comment, Laura feels that if the child, which the child does, I was shocked, he orders that stuff which every single day, won't eat anything else. She said, if I don't offer it, he won't eat lunch at all from us.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Laura, we'll talk offline about that too, because if what we're offering to someone, if there's not enough variety, it's out of standards, we have some exemptions. So we'll have to connect one-on-one about that specific circumstance, I think. But yeah, same thing. We want to, feed the child. So for now, yes, do what you need. And we'll
And if
connect.
anybody else is having a similar situation, please let Nicole know, because that's not something like, obviously there are going to be kids that come through and get the same thing every single day. But if it's a special diet situation that's just a little funky and causing you to go through products like that, definitely let Nicole know so that she can follow up with the student and the nurse and the parent possibly.
Yes. Sorry, to piggyback on what Irene was saying with having extra chicken breast. I know some schools were having difficulty locating that. So Irene, hopefully your supply of chicken breast is starting to go down. If not, schools maybe that Irene would be a great person to reach out to if you're in short supply of the grilled chicken breast item. So the gluten-free menu.
Bonnie, next up, Bonnie DeBoe, do you have anything you want to comment on to the managers?
She said she's good.
I don't know.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions, anything they'd like to share, anything they need follow-up on? Please unmute and ask.
Well, one of the managers also asked, is there a way to get dairy-free yogurt? They have a lot of dairy-free students at one of the schools. Would like to offer something more than just cereal.
Yeah, so there are some other dairy-free options, but also we do have that new dairy-free milk available to order. It's the alternative pea protein milk if you can't get soy milk. Send me some specifics of what student you're talking about, because if it's just that one dairy, there will be other options for that student for breakfast. But if they have multiple allergies, then maybe it is something that we need to come up with a more other options. But I haven't seen a great dairy-free yogurt. It's difficult. It has to be a soy yogurt. And we can try to look to source that if there's a high demand for it.
You guys see any other questions in the chat box?
No, I don't think so.
See any others? Kim
Okay,
was kind
going
enough to
once.
let us- Yeah.
Huh?
Kim was kind enough to let us know she had to go deliver meals, which I'm sure a lot of people do. And Kim's back, so that was speedy. Yay, Kim. May 27th and you'll be done. So, that was the only chat.
Well, again, I just want to say thank you guys for all that you've done this school year and every day. I know that it's been stressful. I know that everyone has worked with short staff, with short products, with short tempers from teachers and students and central office and delivery guys and everything else under the sun. So thank you all. We're getting, the end is in sight, thankfully. Summer programs, we are not we're doing summer school, but the site leads are handling the breakfast. It's not being sponsored. They're paying for it out of pocket. They're vending it from us. So we aren't staffing any locations. The library is handling our only summer site location. So enjoy your summers off, and we will have another meeting before the end of the year. But thank you all, and we'll be in touch soon. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Have a good afternoon.